Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects, a program produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. For the past 5 years, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has been partnering with the Caribbean Science Foundation to groom the next generation of science, technology, and business leaders in the region through the Student Program for Innovation, Science, and Engineering, SPISE. We feature some of these budding scientists on this episode. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is rolling out Dcash, the next step in the evolution of the EC dollar. Use Dcash to send and receive money to and from friends and family. Make payments directly from your smart device. Make payments from wherever you are. Download the app from the Google Play or Apple Store and sign up, or visit dcashec.com for more information. The future of the EC dollar is digital. Let's make history together.
Thanks for staying connected. Every year, students from across the Caribbean ages 16 to 18 who are gifted in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM embark on an intensive 4-week summer program called SPISE. This is an initiative of the Caribbean Science Foundation. Through this program, the Caribbean Science Foundation aims to diversify the economies of the region and raise people's standard of living by stimulating more technology-based entrepreneurship in the region. It also seeks to address the low numbers of Caribbean students pursuing advanced degrees in science and engineering. The ECCB is pleased to be associated with this mission and continues to sponsor the participation of students from ECCU member countries in the yearly SPICE program. Some of those interns share their experiences with us. Before we hear from them, Faculty Director of SPICE, Professor Cardinal Ward, and Executive Director, Dr. Dinah Saw, explain how the SPICE program not only promotes academic excellence, but also helps to build self-confidence in the participants.
We have a lot of very bright people in the Caribbean. And as I said, it's very difficult to get into SPICE. So most of the students that we admit are, number one, number two in their country, at least in the science subjects. But yet they are not confident that they are world class. And we keep telling them that they are, because I've seen students come from China, India, Pakistan, you name the country, Japan, into MIT, which is where my primary home is. And I see how good they are, and I know how good our SPICE students are. So even though I tell them that they're great, it doesn't resonate until they actually land in the university. So what we do is we try to build up their confidence during the program, and that's why a lot of the subjects that we teach are like at the level of the first year of university. So these students have to study. They're used to getting A's and high grades without working very hard. But they come to SPICE, and we have a lot of subjects, unfortunately. So they're busy day and night, and they don't get as much sleep as they would like, but they rise to the challenge.
We have had a number of students come into SPICE thinking that they weren't good enough to apply to the top universities in the world, and we encouraged them to apply. They applied after they left SPICE, and not only did they get in, but they're attending those universities. So this fall, we will have 18 SPICE graduates attending MIT. We'll have 2 at Harvard. We'll have students at Stanford, several at Columbia, Dartmouth, UPenn, Yale, and Cornell. So Princeton, all of the top universities. And of course, we're so proud of these students. And not only do they enroll and attend these top universities, but they do extremely well at the universities. So it just further confirms what Cardinal stated, that our students from the Caribbean are equally as outstanding and superb, have equally great potential as the top students from around the world.
SPICE for me was really an impactful experience and one of the best experiences that I've had in my lifetime. Where at the SPICE program, I was able to be introduced to university level courses just leaving Form 5. And those courses included calculus, robotics, entrepreneurship, Mandarin, programming, and other biochemistry and other subjects along the lines of STEM. With this experience, it really opened my eyes and kind of transformed my career path. Going into SPICE, I was thinking of becoming a business major, going into economics. But after taking part in the SPICE program, I really started to marvel at the possibilities of robotics. And that's what led me to becoming a mechanical engineer today.
It was very difficult, very challenging. There was a lot of work, but I would say it was worth it. I met a lot of great people, some of the brightest minds in the Caribbean, and I formed some really good friendships. There were times where I even forgot that I hadn't known these people for my entire life. I just met them last week, so it was really fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
The SPICE program is brilliant, and I enjoyed every moment of it. Meeting new people who are pursuing or have careers in various parts of STEM was the highlight of the program. While the workload was rigorous, it was worth every late night. Majority of the time, with my friends and I, we stayed up late trying to figure out how to solve our homeworks, our equations, how to fix our sensors, how to get our code to start working, which was an issue for me as I never did coding before. The entrepreneurship lessons were brilliant. When we did our presentations and everything, like we learned so much. We saw the differences, how entrepreneurship works, how to develop a business, and the business ideas we came up with was different. Some of us had ideas in medicine, some of us had ideas in seaweed production, and that was really, really interesting.
My SPICE experience was more about learning to adapt to the difficult work. It taught me how to apply science to real life. I think it taught me to be braver and be able to actually talk to the professionals who were volunteering to teach us. And it was also about forming bonds and friendships with the other students as we all tried to navigate everything. So at the end of the experience, I did come out well-grounded in the basic science that they were teaching us, which is very essential to a career in STEM. But I also came out with a lot of softer skills like improved study habits, time management. They taught us how to write emails to professionals and stuff like that. So overall, it was very helpful. It's been very helpful at Cape, and it's even helpful now I'm in second year university, so it's nice.
For me, the most interesting aspect of SPICE must have been the robotics program that they had, where we were tasked with collecting small table tennis balls that were submerged in a pool of water with robotics material, pipes that were put together, motors, and it was part of a sea perch kit that they gave us. And we were supposed to design this robot to be able to collect as many balls as possible. At that program, my group or my team ended up collecting the most balls in the fastest period of time. So that was really a joy for me. And I think that's what really began my interest in robotics. Fast forwarding from that experience, I was able to go on to represent St. Lucia at the first Global Robotics Challenge, which was like an international robotics competition. And we had to build a robot. Again, we had to collect different colored balls, but it was on a land platform. And the robot had to collect blue balls and orange balls. These balls symbolize clean water and dirty water. And the robot was supposed to sort those balls on board the robot. So one catchment area of the robot would be for the clean blue balls, and one catchment area would be for the orange balls. And you were supposed to deposit that into different catchment areas, and you get points based on how many balls your team is able to deposit in a certain amount of time.
I would have to say probably the guest speakers that we had. Every week, a few times a week, would have a different career seminar where a guest speaker would come in and talk about their career and go through the path that led them to their career. So we got to hear a lot of their stories, and yeah, that was pretty interesting hearing how the people who all of us aspire to be like, or sometimes be better than, how they reach the point where they are at now, and some of the lessons that they had to learn along the way. And it was also a nice break from classes, which I didn't really mind.
One of my major highlights of SPICE was building a CO2 sensor, which is used to test the presence of carbon dioxide, CO2 carbon dioxide. We had no prior experience to building a CO2 sensor or even a sensor in itself. A lot of electronics, and it was especially difficult as it was virtual. So that was a huge challenge, but it also made it more fun in a sense that you could easily call anyone at late night to say, can you help me with this?
We were placed in groups and we had to create an underwater robot that was remote controlled, and it had to be able to dive down into a tank to collect balls. And at the end of the project, the groups had to compete to see whose robot could collect the most balls in a certain period of time. Now, I found that interesting as I had no experience in robotics before at all. So it was very interesting to see how much work actually goes into designing anything we use. For example, even like where to place the storage compartment on the robot, as it had to like store the ball. So there was a little net thing that would hold them. That actually took a lot of work in deciding where best to put it so our robot would be most efficient. It was also really like cool to see our drawings turn into like manifest into a physical functioning robot. And it was probably one of the most fun parts of SPICE, as we spent a lot of time together in a group learning about each other. And yeah, I think that was the most interesting part for me.
For more details about the SPISE program, be sure to visit www.caribbeanscience.org.
And now for this week's financial tip.
Start saving today. Any savings, no matter how small, add up. $1 a day gives $365 a year.
We've come to the end of another episode of ECCB Connects. Thank you for watching. Be sure to connect with us next week when we'll be back with another program to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.